And another thing I suggest that students do, and they think I'm so wrong in this. They think something's wrong with Dr. Sauer when I say this. But I'll say, for example, I'll have a girl in class. She'll say, I've got a boyfriend back home, let's say in California. And I'll say, well, tell me about him. Oh, she describes him like Mr. Wonderful. And I said, I'm so glad you have such a fine boyfriend. However, I want to suggest that while you're here, you get to know some of the young men here at Moody. Rub elbows with them. Spend time with them outside of class, etc. In fact, I suggest that you compare your boyfriend in California with some of these fine fellows here. Whoa, they think I'm a heretic for suggesting that. And she said, oh, no, I might have a boy here who's a friend, but I'm not going to go on any dates with a fella. I've got a boyfriend. Well, that doesn't mean you're married. In fact, I want you to tell me, how old are you? 20 years old. Now, you tell me the wisdom in limiting yourself right now to one male. You'll date one male, your boyfriend in California, and you're not with him right now. You can't date him. So where's the wisdom in that? Now, you tell me, I'm asking this 20-year-old girl, when you're engaged, should you be dating? No. When you're married, should you be dating? No. When's the only time you can do it? Right now. You're single. So why not feel free to date some of the fellows here at Moody and compare him with your boyfriend? See, it's a win-win situation. Let me tell you why. If you date other fellows here, that might make your boyfriend look better to you than what he really is. In fact, the fellows here make him look real good. On the other hand, you might date somebody here that you find is even finer and more appropriate for you than your boyfriend in California. It's a win-win situation. And your boyfriend, in fact, when Sue and I were dating, and I was down in Mississippi, and she went home for the summer in North Carolina. I said, Sue, when you get back home, feel free to date fellows. Just make sure it's a serious Christian. She said, oh, I don't want to date anybody but you. I said, well, I don't want to date anybody but you, but we're going to be split up for the summer. We can't date. And Sue, if I find a real fine Christian girl down here, I am going to date her. And let me tell you why. There can be a real test of the affection that you and I have for each other. And so God did give me a real fine girl to date that summer, and I was up front with her that I had a girlfriend. She said, yeah, I know, mutual friends have told us. And when I was with that real fine girl down in Mississippi, my heart was up in North Carolina. And I can remember one night I was with this girl, and I remember thinking, I wonder what Sue's doing right now in North Carolina. And God gave her a real fine fella to date. And that was good for her too. It helped her assess her interest in me.
That might be your hottest take yet. That's, yeah, a lot of people.
I can remember a real fine girl here, and she said this to me. She said, Dr. Sauer, you know the kind of relationship that my father and I have. We are as close as a father and daughter can be. I tell my dad everything, but I cannot tell my father what I'm about to tell you. I have at Moody a wonderful boyfriend, and I knew him. He was wonderful. He was a student in my class, and we're close to engagement. But for some time, I have been comparing my boyfriend with his roommate, his best friend, his roommate. Which is more godly? Who will be more fruitful in the Christian ministry? Which man would be a better father to our children? Who's more handsome? Dr. Sauer, I feel like I'm having an affair behind my boyfriend's back. What's wrong with me? I said, nothing. Your heart is simply asking, have you got the right man? Now is the time to find out. And so she began to pursue that with the Lord. And the more she pursued it, the more convinced she became that her boyfriend was the one she should marry, and she did marry him. So I find students sometimes are quite idealistic. I have a girlfriend. In fact, our two sons, when they had a girlfriend, they acted like they were married. They had on blinders. They wouldn't even look at another girl. I said, fellas, you're not married yet. Don't tie yourself down too quickly to one female. Mm-hmm. Rub elbows with other girls.